Do you remember the carnage of the weakest link?
Oh my God, yes!
It's coming up on my TikTok a lot now, and I'm like, get me back to this show. I didn't appreciate this when I was 8.
No, because what was her name? Anne. Was that the host?
Yeah, and
name?
it was like, she was kind of trying to be like a Judge Judy.
It was,
But like a Judge Judy mixed with like...
No, but she owned it. It wasn't really like, oh, look at her trying to be our one.
No, she was her.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, I feel like mean women on TV were like...
The shit.
It was the thing. It was like the gimmick to get people in.
Mean women sell. Yeah. Definitely was. There was a good bit of bitchiness going on in the weakest link as well.
Really, what it was like, and I didn't realise that Kate would do that, would vote me off. She's fucking shite, so she can't even answer any of the questions.
They voted each other off, and then there was the ones who were getting kind of fucking...
that was tactical. That was tactical.
They knew that the fucking dope was in front of them, and they, like, the second, if they got it right, they were like, bank!
Yes.
Remember bank?
Do you remember bank?
I like, this one after me is not going to get this question. Bank! How far do you think you would have gotten on the weakest link?
2 questions.
I would have been the weakest link.
They would have been like, why are you here?
I'm like, I shouldn't have a podcast. The misinformation is fucking diabolical.
They tried to bring it back.
They always do. Don't they have, sorry.
Oh, Jesus, they're bringing it back.
Oh, God, lovely.
Again.
That's why it's on your timeline.
So 2022, fall 2022. I think they're doing an American one as well. They always try and fuck at that. Anne Robinson.
Anne Robinson, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is she? Do you remember she got a facelift halfway through?
Did she?
People like absolutely lost their fucking brain.
Oh, well, it was at a time when people did lose their brain about plastic surgery and such.
It really was. It was such a damaging time in the old British media.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. But
very fucking bad.
yeah, she's apparently not happy about it being brought back.
Oh, so she's not going to be on it?
No, they're doing it in America as well. Well, sorry, they're bringing it back in America, and it's Jane Lynch that they're bringing as the host. You know, your one from Glee?
Jane Lynch. The
PE coach, yeah.
She's good.
She is good. That does make sense. I will say.
She's been in a few films where she's been she was in 40-Year-Old Virgin, she was in Role Models, and she's real like, don't bullshit. That kind of, you know, like she is, I like her.
I do think The Weakest Link was great TV.
It was, yeah. Sure, they have Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Jeremy Clarkson now and everything. Like, I don't know, I'm not into that.
No, I'm not into that. Do you know what I am into, right? And I was watching it last night and I was like, this is very entertaining. Now, I do think that Jimmy Carr is pretty entertaining anyway, but they did the countdown.
Yeah.
You know, the charity one.
Oh, no, it's 8 out of 10 does countdown.
Oh, is it?
8 out of 10 cast, yeah, that's a series within itself.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's a piss take of countdown, but it's like a comedy version.
But it's all the same people. Like, they have your one that does the
dictionary,
the new Carol.
The new Carol. Oh no, Rachel Riley. She's like mad for the maths.
Yeah, her.
Oh no, she's always been on it.
No, Carol was there.
But as in, she's the new one from Countdown.
Yeah.
She does Countdown and then she does 8 out of 10 cats and then the same.
That's what I mean. They have the whole crew.
Yeah,
they have the whole gang.
Yeah.
But I was watching the one with Jonathan Ross, who was so intelligent.
Yeah, he is. And your man, can't remember his name, Danny something. They're like they have their kind of team leaders that they have all the time. Sean Locke was a big one on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
You know.
Yeah, he's so funny.
It's a very funny one.
But I was watching that last night, but I was like, oh my God, Jonathan Ross is so quick. I always forget this.
Yeah.
He's so clever. Like, every time you'd be like, I've 9. You're like, what? There's only 8 on the board.
There's only 2 letters, Jonathan.
Yeah, what's happening here?
How did you do this?
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome along to The Unpopular Opinion. My name is Jen.
And I'm Carla. And I liked watching...
Yeah, game shows.
Game shows.
Let's do an episode on game shows.
Did we do one?
Oh, I think we did like really out there ones. Like really.
Oh, we did.
Do you know what I was thinking the other day? Actually, something that came up on my timeline. Do you remember Celebrity Deathmatch?
Oh my God!
This thing came up. Just a picture of like the 2 hosts. I was like, how the fuck did we live off this? We actually lived off Celebrity Deathmatch.
Would come on, you'd be like, And you'd be like, is it an old episode or a new one? You'd be like, new episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Pamela Anderson one where our boobs went down our arms, and it was like brutal.
It was really strange. Do you know all these really strange concepts? I'm like, how did they get green? Like, how did they get the green light?
Because it was MTV. Same as South Park. I'm pretty sure. Well, they started out on Comedy Central, but I think it was shown on MTV as well.
It was.
It was around the era of like people really taking the piss out of celebrities and getting away with it.
Yeah. Is that real?
South Park are still doing it. Like,
Yeah,
they're
true.
still at it.
Very true. Celebrity Deathmatch, I do miss it. I remember the Britney and Christina one as well.
Yeah, they had iconic people. Well,
Yeah.
because they could get anybody. Like,
Yeah.
well, they could. It was played on.
They could draw
essentially, and it was so bad. Like, the fucking graphics on it were so bad. We
Because
loved
it was like stop motion almost when
Yeah,
they were
it was
moving.
terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. But it was great.
Yeah,
It was great for us.
good watching when you're a teenager.
Celebrity Deathmatch watching, if you will. Yeah. All those shows were also, that was the Jackass era.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Very kind of,
The downfall of MTV, people might say.
well, when MTV stopped being about the music, started being about the people.
Yeah.
What was that about, man?
Fucking stupid. Anyway, what's this episode about, Carla?
Today we were talking the biggest mistakes you've ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I
Yeah,
kind
sure.
of, because so obviously when I knew we were going to be doing this episode, I was trying to think of mine. And I was like, got real philosophical.
Oh no, here we go.
I was like, yeah, but like, even if it was a mistake, if I didn't make it, I wouldn't be where I am now. Do you know what I mean?
See, I tried to keep it to things that wouldn't have affected me or affected my life. If they wouldn't have
would've.
had the knock-on effect.
Butterfly effect, it would have.
Okay, well, I tried to stick to things that are kind of non-committal.
Right. Taking up smoking, a bad one.
That,
You know?
yeah, but not something I regret. Not something I do all that often, so...
Yeah. Well, for me, it would have been years of smoking. Not a great choice for me when I was 16.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like, there's things that you do when you're younger, and I feel like they're almost... You can't really look at that. It's more stuff when you get into your 20s, I feel.
Right, okay.
But even so, I feel like your 20s you can kind of write off too. I don't know. I feel like when you're a teenager, you're bound to fuck up. You're bound to make mistakes. So like looking at them is kind of, doesn't really make sense. And there's no point wishing.
Right.
It's like, but you never would have done that.
That's the thing
Like
as
you
well.
never would have went and bought stocks.
But that's where...
Bitcoin wasn't on your map. So like there's no point.
You should have invested in Facebook.
Do you know? Like there's just no
I know.
point. Like when you were fucking whatever age you weren't banging around being like, where's the Bitcoin man?
Yeah, I know.
You just didn't have an interest in it.
I know. But then I feel like if you can write off anything in your teens and in your 20s, then we're golden because we're only early 30s.
No, but as in there's some things in your 20s. That's what I mean. Your teens you can write off. I do believe you can write off pretty much most things in your teens. Early 20s, dependent. There's things that will always be like, why did I choose to do that? They're gas though.
Yeah,
They're a gas story, but at the same time I'm like, I really don't feel like I got anything out of that.
What are some of yours then?
Let me get my list.
Love interest choices, I feel like.
Yeah,
high
absolutely.
on the
One in
list.
particular.
Yeah.
That I'm like, there was no need. There was no need. No, genuinely, I'm like, when I go back to the whole thing, I'm like, there was just no need to do that. Mm-hmm. There was just no need to even...
Yeah.
And I don't regret most things, but there's just one in particular that I was like, there's absolutely no need.
Yeah.
Just there was no need.
I get
Looking back, that was...
Didn't get out now, that.
Yeah.
But now here you are today going, I wouldn't do it again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
True.
You learn from them.
But I feel like at that point in time, I probably would have just kept doing it again. Do you get me?
Okay.
So it's a bit...
I need context here, Carla.
It's a bit difficult. It's just, there was just no need. Like, I wasn't that into him.
Yeah.
I was kind of almost doing it because it was easy. Like, I don't know. It was just like...
Yeah.
Looking back now, I'm like, there was so much fucking hullabaloo about it too. I'm like...
Why did I do that? Yeah, it wasn't worth it.
Yeah. Now it's just kind of something that I look back on and I'm like, oh God, cringe.
Yeah.
Like, I shiver.
I think we all have them.
Yeah.
There was a boyfriend that I got with like years ago and I was just kind of going, why, this is just easy. I'm just afraid of being lonely.
Yeah.
Ended up stuck with him for a number of years. Hated that.
Yeah. And I think the thing for me is like, they were never even full on boyfriends. Like, it was just more kind of like bitty things I kept going.
Yeah.
Just for my own ego. Literally nothing else. Mm-hmm. And looking back, I'm like, why were you why were you the way that you were?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of way.
Hindsight is fucking 2020, though, isn't that what you say?
It was absolutely crazy. Not selling my Mini.
Right.
That's still something I look back on and I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Why? Like, what happened to her?
So I moved to the UK.
Yeah.
And it all happened so quickly. I was just like transferred and it was just like, off you go. I was told like 2 weeks before I went and I was just transferred, and then it ended up becoming a longer contract, and then it ended up becoming a permanent contract, and then my contract changed. Anyway, so I initially was only supposed to be over there for 6 weeks.
Right.
Working. So I was like, obviously I'll keep my car. So I was like, that's grand. But then at that same point in time, my dad was having issues with his car. So he was like, I'll drive the Mini. And I was like, that's perfectly fine. I should never let that happen.
Okay. Oh, but how could you do that to Ray?
No, that's fine. I shouldn't have let the second part happen. Because then essentially what happened was I ended up staying in the UK, and I was like, will I bring my car over? And I couldn't make a decision whether I was going to bring my car over or not. So Ray continued to drive it. Ray doesn't take care of things. He never has. He just doesn't take care of anything. He just doesn't. Like, it's just not in his nature. You can buy him anything. The amount of stuff that I've seen him nearly fucking rally, and I'm like, "Ah," and I have to like jump out. I say to my sister every year, I'm like, stop buying Ray nice things. He cannot be trusted with nice things.
His current car is holding on by a thread and a prayer.
Literally. Everything is just, and he's not into cars. Do you get? He doesn't care. As long as it drives. He's like, he doesn't give a shite. Like,
He's dead right.
No, I've never met a man who cares less.
Yeah.
Unless it drives. And he's like, oh, that's nice. He's just, and this is somebody who spends a lot of time driving. This is someone who drives a shit ton.
Okay.
And I will say, a very good driver.
Is Ray in his 60s?
Yeah.
He's lived into his 60s. He knows his priorities. He knows something we don't.
Yeah, he does.
So he's grand, like.
No, he is grand, yeah. No,
he's
he
dead
is.
right.
Yeah. But, so at that point in time, anyway, the car, I couldn't make a decision, and then I was like, do I buy a car over here? Do I try and bring my car over? So then in the end, I was like, right, I'm just going to sell my car. So I was like, right, I'll sell my car and buy another. So I was trying to sell the car, and it wasn't selling, but they kept driving it. And then it became like the factory's car.
Right.
So then my cousin was driving it at one point, then somebody else was driving it at one point. So everybody was fucking driving it. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck they did to it, but they ended up like blowing the like main gasket.
Yeah.
So it was done. It was scrapped.
Shit. That's annoying now.
Do you know? That's what I mean. I'm like, why did I let this happen? There was no...
Yeah. I get you.
There was no commitment to the car. There was just no... And I wouldn't mind. It was only 9 years old at that point, the car. You know? Was it? Hold on. I bought it in... When did I buy it? I got it in 2010. It was in 2007. Yeah.
Okay.
So... And that was 2016. Yeah.
I probably regret buying my Mini.
Yeah, see...
Well, no, I don't. See, this is the thing, because I loved that Mini for years. I was heartbroken getting rid of that Mini, but I had to because I ran it into the fucking ground.
My friend was the same. When she got her Mini, she had to get rid of it, and she was like, I'm just so sad. Whereas mine was the opposite. I was forced. So.
I traded it in for the car that I have now, and I got like 600 quid back for it. It was that bad.
No way.
Yeah, but when I bought it, I'd say the day before the recession. It was in 2008.
No.
And then we hit a recession. Now, I was grand. I was always in the same job, and I couldn't get a loan because I was 21 or 20. So my dad got it out as he was the guarantor, and then just gave me dad the money every week for it, and it came out with his, like it was under his name. But when I think back at the price I ended up paying 27 grand for it in the end. Like, I got it out in finance, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
For such a go. But I fucking loved it. I had it for 10 years.
Was it brand new?
No, it was 4 years old when I got it. But yeah, I loved it. I was heartbroken getting rid of it, but it's because we moved out to Summer Hill and I couldn't. It was a 1.6, you know.
Yeah, they drink.
Like,
yeah.
I knew that I needed, well, at the time, now I'm like in a worse position again because now, like, the car is not fitting me needs. Like, now it's a diesel. Like, I just needed a good fucking diesel, you know what I mean, to get me to A to B for, like, in work and stuff that was going to be a bit cheaper.
Is this the car that you got straight after?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
That's what I mean. I've only had 3 cars in my life.
Wow.
Well, when I say only 3, that's still a lot to some people, but I got the little course. I gave that to my friend. Never sold that. Gave that to my friend because she started learning how to drive. Or maybe did she give me like 550 quid or something for it?
Yeah.
You know. And then I got the Mini out on finance and then traded it in, got fucking 600 quid back for it. It was turned into a box. They couldn't do anything with it. They had to crush it like. So bad. Poor little Mini.
Missing.
But like that, when I think about... So, this is the thing.
But that's what I mean. It
when
wouldn't
it
have
comes
affected
to
you. I don't think it would have affected you. I don't think that that's a decision. If you didn't get a Mini and you went and bought...
a different car.
Like a Clio, we wouldn't be...
No, I don't think we'd be much difference. No, that's fair.
Did you get me?
But I did love it. It brought me a lot of enjoyment.
Oh, absolutely. There was nothing like driving a Mini back then.
It's like
it was it was that bitch. It was that bitch.
Very sturdy drive. You wouldn't
It is.
think
It's
for a
cla-
Mini, like
yeah.
they actually get stuck to the ground. Like
And the handling on them, they are like go-karts. They're unbelievable.
fantastic cars.
They are great cars. They're BMW engines. Apparently.
Is that one of them things?
One of those things
I used
and
to
then
say
fucking,
that
yeah.
You'd lift the hood and the hood stayed up. You didn't have to put the stick up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it stayed up. It's like-
I'd be like, fancy.
and when you opened it, I remember the noise of all the doors opening. So the boot and the bonnet, when you picked them up, went... it just stayed up. Anyway, this isn't Top Gear. Talking about
What you mean?
talking about fucking time and chain, yeah.
Yeah.
Time and chain, not time and belt on them, you know.
Yeah.
German, good old German.
Good at always buy a German.
Oh, mine was a Brit. Of course it was. I think
Was
every
it?
car that I have had has been a fucking British car.
It's been an import.
Yeah.
Interesting. The car that I have now is an import. I didn't actually realise until the other day. I was like,
Hey,
those are
You
miles, not
find, out, you
kilometres.
find out when you get the logbook. Fuck! It's a
Like,
Brit.
bollocks. Shit.
Riddled with salt. Anyway.
Yes. This is one that I do think would have greatly, significantly changed my life.
Right.
And I knew I should have done it at the time. Mm-hmm. But I almost felt like I lost out. So I didn't.
Right.
Buying Amazon shares at the start of the pandemic.
Oh, it started pandemic. Okay.
It was all over my social media.
Oh shit, was it?
And I thought I had just already... I thought I had missed the boat. But then sure, didn't they double and triple again? Do you get me? I was like, I'm not going to buy them now because they're already inflated.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, do I just buy... I remember, honestly, I went back and forth about it for so long in my head.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, because of the mortgage.
I know. Yeah.
I could be a fucking
Would you really?
thousandaire right now.
Really? Would you be much better off? Like,
Well, it depends because capital gains tax in Ireland is absolutely obscene.
oh, stop.
And your cap is 1,200 quid.
You tried to get ahead.
Your cap is 1,200 quid over here. In the UK, it's 30 grand. Over here, it's 1,200 quid. And you have to pay
1,200?
1,200 quid. 1,200 quid tax
What's
free.
the fucking point?
1,200
like?
quid tax free, and then you have to pay 33%, I think.
Right,
It's
okay.
scandalo.
That's fucking... It you know what pisses me off is when you finally try and get ahead, or like you do get a job that's like a decent wage, and then it's just like,
Yeah.
no, you're getting
It's
that
like,
half
that's so
of that.
funny. No.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
It nearly does like help you, not help you, but it nearly does make you think, you know, all the conspiracy theorists that are just like, the government are out to keep us down, keep our vibrations down, all that sort of shit, and like keep us depressed and all that, just to keep us in our lanes. It fucking would make you think.
What's the thing out of the planes that everybody was blaming?
Oh, chemtrails. They're trying to kill us all off.
Yeah, they're chemtrailing us into paying that tax.
Yeah. Like, it's just, oh, stop. I don't, stuff like that now. But again, as you say, at the time, you would have never done it anyway. Well, you were going back and forth. Yeah,
that's what I mean. I had had the money. I was like, right, do I do this? And then I was like going back and forth. And I remember Tom advised me on a stock one time and it went badly, so I've never trusted him since. It's very funny.
Right. Okay.
It wasn't like
That's
I
fair.
lost like 100 quid. Do you know what I mean? But like
investing is fucking scary. Like, anytime it's like, oh yeah, you could do this and it'd be easy enough.
Yeah.
Like, investing your money rather than saving it is a better, because when you save your money, it just sits there. It doesn't really gain much interest.
No, but I suppose it's about
get.
it's the difference between like stock shares, like investing, all that other kind of stuff. I just wouldn't know.
I even downloaded that audiobook, Investing for Dummies. Couldn't fucking...
Wouldn't make head nor
no,
tails of it. Yeah.
So complicated. Even like the Dummies for Dummies book. I was like, what? I wouldn't even mind. It was about the audiobook because I can't... Something that, like, I'm trying to do for one of the podcasts that we're doing up like soon. But I can't, like, even the audiobook was 15 hours long.
I've no interest.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I know.
Just tell me where to put it.
For me, but
and
then
make
I'm also
it really easy.
Yeah, but then I'm also windy about giving me money to something that's not a sure thing.
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it? But it's, for me, I just was like, everybody was saying it, and it only went up. I thought it had hit its peak. It didn't. It like went through its peak and then through its peak, and I was like, fuck. And I was so annoyed because I was like, do I just put 1,000 in? Do you
know the way that you can do a little bit of investing on Revolut?
Yeah.
I think I invested about a tenner into Pfizer when I knew they were doing the vaccine.
It's gone up?
No, it didn't. Nothing happened. I think I get a dividend of about 35 cents every 6 months or something.
Nice.
You got a dividend from Pfizer. It's like, I'm big pharma now. Thinking I was going to be a millionaire investing in
I have some Revolut. I have invested
gold,
in some Revolut
silver,
things.
and Pfizer on my Revolut.
What's gold, silver?
Just gold.
Gold. In gold. Okay. Let's have a look.
I own gold, and I own silver, and I own a bit of Pfizer as well.
I've invested in Apple and Delta Airlines, and they're both down right now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Sickener.
So, sickener for me.
I don't understand what it means. Like, I get these notifications saying, it's a BTC or something for the gold or the silver, I don't know. And it's like, it's up 33%, and I'm just like, great now. That's fantastic.
Brilliant, actually.
Don't fucking understand.
That's brilliant, actually. Yeah. That's absolutely stunning. But yeah, you should never invest money that you're going to need in the next 5 years. I think that was the whole point. I think that's
good.
I think that's why in the end I decided to not go, even though it was only, like, I think it was only €1,000 that I was looking at putting in. Like, not only, but at that point in time, out of my whole mortgage fucking deposit, it was like, whatever. But I decided not to do it, and now I feel sick.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
When I look back, I feel sick. Okay.
Right, currently, my investments. Oh, what is that? Right, Pfizer. It's up 20%. So I have 1.08 in shares. It's worth €46. Right?
Oh.
And my capital at risk at the moment is €61 on my Revolut.
Okay.
I have $12 available to invest, and Viatris, I don't remember investing in them, but they must have been one of the gold or silver ones. I have €1 and €21 with them.
Very good, Jen.
Absolutely. Fucking load. Oh, sorry, here we go. Here's my dividends. 24th of September, I got a 2-cent dividend from Vitaris. A 37-cent dividend on the 7th of September with Pfizer. Fuck, I better put that on the mortgage application.
So these are gains.
Yeah, exactly. These are gains. I forgot to declare this. Well, actually, now that we bring it up with the money sit, right? When I was living in Summer Hill, we went on holiday. First holiday in fucking years, me and Adam. Got Jer into Mind the Dogs. And the week that we went, €4.7 million was won on the lotto in the shop that I always bought me lotto in. And I was away that week. It was the one fucking week that I was on holidays.
That's not a mistake or a regret. That's just something.
But it could, like, you know the slogan, it could be you. It fucking could have been, because it was the shop that I always bought lotto tickets in. The 1 week I went away in a 7-year period.
But it's not a mistake.
I regret it. It's one and the same. It's not. I enjoyed the holiday like I was going. Fucking needed it, but it was like
needed. I just wish it was the week after.
The one fucking week, like, I was raging for months afterwards.
Is the lotto every week or every month?
It's every week.
I don't play it.
All right.
It couldn't be me because I don't play it.
It couldn't be me. So we asked you what your biggest mistakes were, and you delivered.
Yeah, but
as you always do.
I will say, it was supposed to be light, guys. It was supposed to be really light.
Oh, fuck it is. I saw this story you put up on the things last night. You seem a bit traumatised by people.
Yeah, there's some that I was like, okay.
Right.
I'd cool. I'd cool. We're going there, huh?
Right. Okay.
That's fucking crazy, right?
I need context. Give it to me.
Well, you'll see it when we go through them.
Yeah. Okay.
There's some that are funny. There's some that are... Yeah, there's some that are funny. There's some that I'm like, God bless you. Mm-hmm. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of men's names that were just written in.
Oh, I love it.
Mark. I'm like, okay. James, okay. That's fine. Crashing into a Dublin bus and trying to drive off as if nothing happened.
I do the same, to be honest. It's just a big fucking mess that you don't need in that moment.
As if, screw.
Yeah.
I'd love to know how they got caught.
And trying to drive off. Right, okay.
That's what I'm trying to drive off. So what happened? Did someone catch you, or was your car not able to drive off? Like, what happened?
I think maybe somebody probably flagged her down. It was like, here, you're after crashing into this bus.
Like, did I?
You have to stay at the scene.
See, I don't regret my crashes. I don't regret either of my crashes. Because I feel like it taught me to be a good driver. I was reckless.
Actually, that's a good one. It's after unlocking something. I was only talking about this the other day. I was driving out my ma's estate before. I was going to collect Adam. We were going to the cinema or something like that. And I was driving down, I think I've said this on the podcast before, but I was driving out of the estate, and it's like a long stretch of road out of the estate. But on my left-hand side at the pat, I could see a bunch of young fellas, like, you know, there was a big rustle. And I was like, are they messing? Are they beating the shit out of that young fella? Like, what the fuck's going on? And when I realised they were serious, so there's a roundabout at the top of my Mazda estate, so you can drive out and literally come back in, do you know what I mean, without having to do a 3-point turn around. And when I realised they were actually beating the shit out of this young fella, I was like, no, I have to, I can't not do that, because like he was the same age as my nephew at the time. I just felt terrible for him. So wellied around the roundabout, came back and kind of tried to pull up in a kind of, there was no other cars on the road, but like in a really loud way, if you get me, to try and scare them off. And
oh no, did it go badly?
Well, it's not that it went badly. Like the main goal was reached. Do you know, like I managed to, they all ran off, like, and I was checking that he was okay, and you know, he was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm grand, thanks very much, and you know, all that sort of stuff. He was terrified, like, and he did manage to run off. But when I pulled up, because of the nature of me pulling up and trying to scare the shite out of him, fucking tire off the curb.
No.
And for the whole week, I had to get somebody out. Obviously, because I couldn't drive anywhere. Now, it was covered on my insurance, that was grand. And somebody came out and changed me tyre in the garden. But I think it fucked something else up in the car, and it had a knock-on effect. And I just had months worth of car troubles and nothing but fucking paying money out for the car. And I think it was in the Mini. So, you know yourself when you
was it €1 million?
€1 million for everything. And I was just going, like for months afterwards, I was like, why did I have to do it the way I did it? And then like afterwards, I was like, even when your man came.
See, this is what I mean, a regret. Like, it wouldn't have changed your life.
Yeah,
it's just
well,
like looking
that
back.
is one.
Like
No,
mistakes, sorry, not regret. That's why I didn't say regret. I said mistakes.
Yeah, but I was still happy that I did it for the young fella.
Yeah.
But like that, they wouldn't have murdered him.
They could have.
If it was Bobby, I would really appreciate somebody doing that. It was just the fact that the tyre burst. I was just raging that happened.
There's nothing more. No, we know this though. There's nothing more scary than youths. Than a group of youths.
And then I was told afterwards, like the amount of people that gave out to me for doing it, they were like, Jen, that could have been a scam. I was like, what? It was like when you got out of the car to scare them off, like they could have hijacked your car.
What year was this?
Oh God, it would have been before we moved to Summerhill. Yeah, so it would have been 2013, 14. Maybe that, around that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because, yeah, it was before, I still had the Mini, and it was, yeah, because when I moved out of Summerhill, I had the car that I have now, so it wasn't, yeah, it would have been around that time.
Mad.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I saved a boy's life, but I was fucking paying for months afterwards.
Like I hated
that. Oh, another big one. Car related again. The Mini. Cursed. Fucking. Right.
She just called this mistakes and Jen's Mini.
Yeah. Well, this was a mistake within a mistake. So, years ago, do you remember when fucking Forever Living and, you know, all these pyramid schemes and all these were going on? I was part of one. Not part of one, but I was like a sales representative in a thing called It Works. It was when the weight loss raps were doing the fucking rounds, right? Oh, yes. My mate was making thousands and she needed team members. You know this. So I did it like for...
She's making too much money. She had to share the money.
She wanted me on her team. So I was like, yeah, go on. I only did it for about 4 months. I actually did make a good bit of money, to be fair, until I realised, oh, there's no longevity in this. Anyway, there was like the beauty show in the RDS. The companies got like a stand in it, so we had to go, and you know, we were telling people all about this sort of stuff. But when I pulled up to the RDS, I had me, because I cannot navigate the south side of the city, I just can't. So I had the sat nav on in the car, and it was stuck on my windshield in the thing. Got out, unpacked the car, went in, set up and everything, and then I realised, I was only in there 15 minutes, and I realised my phone was in the car. So I was like, oh shit, I have to go out and get my phone. And like, there was gotchis and all in this car park, so I was like, this will be fine, it'll be absolutely alright. Went over to the car, phone was gone, and I was like, how the fuck, because I was at the driver's side.
Yeah.
And I was like, where the fuck? No, I definitely left it there. I can specifically remember leaving it there. And noticed on with the passenger seat, there was a load of shards of glass. So they were after smashing the passenger seat window to get the phone. And then, so because of the nature of like the stuff that we were selling, like it got rid of stretch marks and it tightened you up and shit like this. And apparently, like, there was this one gel, and people were women were putting it on their boobs, and it was like lifting their boobs.
Yeah.
So I had done this, like I was putting it on, and you know, trying to do it before and after. They weren't nudes. I had, like, I was taking a before photo, and I had you know, like emojis on me nipples or whatever.
Yeah.
But these were my before photos, not for any sort of public consumption. It was for myself to see, did this fucking work? The company was called It Works. So I was like, I needed to see. So it was just the before photos. But whoever robbed me phone, I had no passcode on my screen, uploaded them to Facebook. I was rallied out of it. Not rallied out of it on Facebook. Do you know people giving out to me for it? For having pictures of myself on my phone. And those people uploaded it. And I got in trouble for it. From a lot of women as well. Adam, now, like, obviously Adam, because they text Adam as well, like, they were really fucking sinister with it. And at the time I had an iPad, so when I went home, I could see all my iMessages on my iPad. So I could see what was going on my phone, because it all obviously transferred over on iCloud. And I could see they were after texting Adam.
What year was this?
Again, it could have been 2012, 13, 14.
Yeah.
Like around that time. And
I remember you briefly telling me about this before, but I didn't know that it was this bad.
Yeah, like, and they texted him a photo of it, and he kind of went, came back to me, and he was like, what the fuck are you, this photo's up on Facebook, how the fuck is this up on Facebook, why are you doing this? Like, my mates are texting me saying you're after putting this picture up on Facebook. And I was like, it wasn't me. And, you know, like, trying to get lens of phones, you know, the way you don't really memorise people's numbers, fucking texting Adam.
Carnage.
Oh, it was absolute carnage. Didn't know any passwords. It was an iPhone. All these things were saved. I didn't need to know any of these things to log in on somebody else's phone. I eventually got there, and I got to take them all down and like do a bit of damage control and stuff like that. But I was like, if I had just taken my phone out of the car, like that again, affected me for months.
Yeah, those little things that you're like,
yeah. And
if
then
I
again,
had just taken my phone out of the car, just like literally taking the phone.
Literally.
How long was it before you realised that it was still in the car?
I'm not even joking, Carla. We were in there. We weren't even set up yet. It was between 5 and 15 minutes, I want to say. Like,
for someone to spot a phone
within minutes,
smash a window and grab it, that's very
and like security.
weird.
There was a security guard coming, like, guiding these people into the car park, because they have to tell you where to park.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I went over to the security guard. I was like, did you not see this happening? And he was just like, no. I was kind of going, well, that's fucking great, isn't it?
Yeah, good to know.
And then again, another €1 million to fix the window. Like, it was just a fucking pain in the bollocks. Like,
oh God, driving home cold.
Yeah, it was horrible.
That is horrible. That's fucking horrible. The fact that they put, what did they say to Adam in the messages?
I can't remember. It was something like, hey, babe, or something like that. And then he replied, and then they replied back. Now how did I get the phone? You got it blacklisted.
Yeah,
or
blacklisted, yeah.
I rang Meteor at the time, who I was with, and they managed to break it, essentially. Yeah. Because of the, your EI is like linked to your contract or whatever. And they managed to do it, but I was just like, this is fucking carnage. All because I forgot to take my phone out of the car. And I, like, at the time I was like, I remember looking at my phone as I was getting, because there was so much shit in the car that we had to go in and set up. I was like looking at it going, I need to get my phone out of the car. And I forgot it. And then I was like, oh shit, my phone's out in the car. This'll be fine. Wasn't.
Wasn't.
So there's another
Worst.
one. You're unlocking memories as we go, lads.
Worst. There's a lot of car stuff. Reversing into my father-in-law's car while drunk during my young and stupid dysfunction days.
God. See, these are the types of mistakes you could easily prevent.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lifelong effect.
Yous are all so bold. I would have never gotten into a car drunk.
No.
You're bold. Like, I just never, it was just so, I always say this, I think we're the generation where they actually got it into our heads that you don't drive drunk.
Yeah.
Our parents' generation, not so much. But our generation, absolutely.
There's too many options out there now.
Yeah. I will say, there was a lot that was about jobs and it made me really sad. And about like studying and degrees and stuff.
Yeah.
So just watch it. Trigger warning.
Right.
If you're somebody who's upset about your career path, maybe turn it off now.
Me? Hi there.
Are you?
I never went to college, no.
Do you regret that? Do you think that's a mistake?
At the end of the day, I wouldn't be exactly where I am now. I feel like I'm in a place where I've been wanting to be for years.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I did spend, because of the path that I went down, I did work experience in 6th year.
Yeah.
In school.
Yeah.
In the place where I ended up working for 16 years because they offered me a job after.
Yeah.
And for that reason, and the money that I was getting there, because when you're 17 and you leave and you're getting a tenner an hour, that's a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I didn't go to college for that reason, and I ended up, I feel like I was stuck there for 16 years. And then while within that, opportunities came up that would now be earning me a hell of a lot more money. Like if I had done the courses that they were offering and stuff like that. But I was always just that real, nah, I'll be fine. But I feel like I did waste a good 16 years of... But then I'm terrified of where I'd be if I had taken action back then.
Is that a mistake though?
It's a regret.
Really?
Yeah. It
like
is.
It's something that you think would have made your life better?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I surely do.
Interesting.
There you go.
Interesting. Like I dropped out of college, as we know, 2 times. But
Yeah.
I don't regret that at all. At the time, I kind of did. Like, not I kind of did. I think there was patches. But now, considering where I am and the career that I've had, I wouldn't have got that.
Oh no, you're golden.
I wouldn't say I'm golden now, Jen. But
compared to me, you're golden.
No, I don't. I wouldn't say that either, Jen.
All right.
I think you have me on a pedestal. I think you have me on a pedestal. I think you need to take me off my pedestal.
I think your job is just so fancy.
It seems fancy. It's not.
Fair.
It seems fancy. It's not.
Yeah.
But like, even just stuff like when I think about the career path that I had, I just didn't expect any of that. Like, I was traveling for work at 21.
Yeah, that's what I
mad.
mean. It's fancy, like
well, back then it was. I just remember being like, "This is insane!" Like, I'm actually in a different country on my own.
Yeah, I've never had to travel for work.
Yeah, do you remember when you were younger? It wasn't. I was in fucking Glasgow in London. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like I was in the Americas or somewhere fancy. But
Dubai.
I was in Dubai.
I wasn't in Dubai to buy things.
That's a chic, you know.
No,
I feel. At that time, that was like such a... I remember my friends were like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
and I was like, I know. This is fucking mad. I'm about to get McDonald's in Scotland. Watch out.
Yeah, I know. That's very fancy though.
Do you know? And I was like, I'm here for a conference. What the fuck?
The only time I ever had to travel for work is down to the Castleknock Hotel for my Christmas party. Do you know?
Yeah. But do you know that kind of stuff? I was like, oh my God, look at me go.
But it is real. Like, you went over to London for work. You met Tom.
Yeah.
It's very whirlwind. From Dublin to London. But, like, it is a good... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. When you look back, you're kind of like... But
if you hadn't have done that, you wouldn't be with Tom.
But I remember... No, I wouldn't have been with Tom. There's loads of things that if I hadn't have done... If I hadn't have downloaded Tinder... if my friend, who I worked with, didn't make me download Tinder and take it seriously, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Do you get me? But there's loads of different things that wouldn't have happened. But I don't think... Like, at that point in time, all my friends were so college focused.
Yeah.
And I was working. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I'd have to get up for shifts, which you can't miss. You can miss a lecture.
Yeah.
Do you know? So you go out in the lash, but I'd be up getting ready for work and off I go.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
So at the time, I remember being like, oh God, I remember being really lost. And I remember like a couple of my friends had said some really fucking harsh things as well. And I remember being like, okay, well, I'm okay. Like, I seem to be doing my thing here.
What is it for you not going to college kind of thing?
Yeah, I remember they were like, well, you'll just never have the career that you should have had. I remember being like, okay.
Nerds!
Yeah. Now, I eventually went back and actually fucking finished something, but it was very difficult at the time. Like, it was unbelievably difficult at the time. Actually, that's another regret. Sorry, mistake.
Wow.
When I was finishing my college exams, that was when I was taken into hospital, and that's when I had to get my transfusion. So I missed like a month of all my lectures, and I ended up failing 2 modules by like 2%.
Oh God.
And I remember being fuming because I went back to them being like, to be honest, I should have studied more, but also I was in hospital. And they were like, well, if you had told us that.
Oh, so you didn't tell them?
And they were like, if you had told us that.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And like, I'll never forget, your one was so nice. And she was like, if you had just told us that before the fact.
Oh no.
And she was like, I was in like she was like, you're on a cusp there that like, they probably would have passed you kind of thing. And she was like, if you just, so then I had to wait a year to redo the fucking two.
Bollocks.
Yeah.
That's a big
that's what I mean. I was like, that was fucking stupid. And then the second time I did them, I was so like, I passed them. It was grand. But you know, I remember just being like, this is fucking.
You were over it. Like,
I was over it. I definitely could have done better in those exams. Hated exams anyway, but I definitely could have done better. Look, I passed them, but I remember being like, those were actually, you had a year to fucking figure that one out.
Yeah.
Well nursed. Yeah, so that's another one. Another mistake that I made.
Somebody here says, buying a house in 2007.
Oh, God. Rough.
Very rough.
I feel bad for you. But how are you to know?
I know, that's the thing. And surely the value's back on your house now. Are you still there? Any context? Karen Dignam was the same. She bought her house like the day before the recession.
No.
Literally the day before it. And she's like, our mortgage compared to next door's is fucking ridiculous. And yeah, like, as you know, she's a singer.
Yeah.
Her and her husband are in the same band. Like,
yeah.
Oh, stop. She was raging.
But
how are you to know? Well, they predicted this.
Yeah, no, but also it's like you take, if you're buying a house right now, it's overinflated. Do you get me? And you know it's overinflated, but you need a house. So what needs greater?
Yeah, that's very true.
You know?
Very, very true. I think we're going to continue this on
Patreon.
On Patreon.
We have a ton of stuff that we have to go through.
I have an unpopular opinion of the week. There are some songs out at the moment that people are losing their fucking life over. Songs. And I think they are a bit of an assault on the ears. And my brain won't let me like them. They just sound so fucking off.
Go for it.
So the first one...
I love a tune.
You do. The first one is The Baddest of Them All.
I love it.
Sorry, no, it's just so... Hang on, I'm not connected to my dick. So you'll probably know this. Let me skip. Let me skip.
Do you not think it's so, like, nostalgic, Jen? Are we not on the waltzers, like?
No, that would never be on the waltzers.
That would be more trancy. But do you not think it's real?
It's the lyrics. It's these fucking things. Oh, no, sorry. Is this like the fucking, like, extended version?
It is, yeah.
Oh, for God's sake. But it's like...
Do you wanna dance, baby?
Sorry, that, like, one of them sentences is far too long to be in that bridge.
Is it?
It's, I know you see me looking at you on the daily. It does not, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Stop that. It doesn't. It's an assault on the ears. It doesn't fit. I fucking hate it.
I think it does.
The next one, which will be very controversial because an Irish man doing well, people will not like me for this. But so Baddest of Them All, you know that song by Only Belters?
No.
Don't
know who that is.
Do you know? Oh,
no.
You've definitely heard this. Oh, sorry, Only Belters. Belters only. Make Me Feel Good.
I was in the club
Yeah, I hate this one.
I
It's
can't.
off tempo.
It's so off tempo. That's how I feel about Baddest of Them All, and this is so off
This one's
tempo.
actually off tempo.
So off
This
tempo.
one is off tempo. It's like trying to pick up the beat.
It's like, what are you doing?
I know, it's the worst.
And then as well, so Adam knows. It's the Irish DJ scene. Adam knows quite a lot about it, and I said it to him the
Just
other
said he
day.
knows a lot of them. I was like, don't rip his friends out of it.
No, oh no, well, he doesn't like a lot of them. He's very vocal about the fact that a lot of like there's a DJ from Cabra and he has a really good song, and I actually really like the song, and he was like, yeah, but listen to this, and I was kind of going, but that's a really good song, and he's just like, yeah, I didn't write it, ghostwriter, and the chap is #1 in the UK. Like, it's a fucking joke.
You have to show me it.
So I'll show you.
Patreon.
Yeah, I'm a Patreon. I'll do it. And then there's the last one, and I can't. So hang on, let me just see. Just because, like, if I just say the name, you won't be able to.
Probably like I don't understand.
So it's this song. Hang on. You like this song? Of course you do.
No, again, it's not like I love it, but it's something that I can
You can
get
jam
down
to.
with it. I'd like it's on TikTok and you're just gonna bop it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's this fucking part.
Why do you hate that part? That's when it gets good.
That's when it gets the worst I've ever fucking, like, when it speeds up.
No, I think it's better when it speeds up.
Oh, I can't. It gives me real, like, every time I hear it, I'm just like, why? It was better when it was slower. It's off tempo. I can't fucking listen to them songs.
The second one is certainly off tempo. The
And
other two.
the vocals in it, so, right, like, the vocals in it's fine, but it's just like, I was in the club walking through the bar or whatever, and then she's like, true the night in the first part, and then the second part is true the night, real common, and I can't. She fucking infuriates me the way she does it.
You've listened to the song a lot more than I have.
It's constantly on Irish radio. That's what
Oh,
I mean.
on the
It's going to be.
radio. I don't listen to the radio, chick.
I've no other option, chick. So, and it's overplayed to shit, and I'm just like fair play. They're doing grand.
They're doing grand.
Some of the shit that Adam said, I'm like, they shouldn't be doing grand anyway. But like, it's just now they're salt on the ears. I can't listen to them because I'm just like, that doesn't sound right. And not that I think I could do any better, but I'm just like, it doesn't sound right in my ears. It's like nobody proofread that. Do you know what I mean? It just sounds real weird. And like, obviously when you might know, sometimes when you hear a song for the first time, you're like, that doesn't sound quite right. And then you listen to it and then you start liking it and then you don't notice it anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can happen. This
isn't one of those. This is not one of those
Not
times.
one of those. But I feel like the producers who did it listened to it so much that they were like, yeah, that sounds grand. And then when I heard it, I was like, no, it's not.
You're like, excuse me, I'd like to speak with you. Excuse me, I have an opinion about this.
The beats per second or beats per minute?
Yeah, Jen there with the...
Not on point, lad.
Jen like, no, it's right.
That is shite.
Right, my stomper of the week, shall we? Carla's stomper of the week. So this song is called Chill Like That by Sunday Scaries and Pickup Lines. And it is...
Like that. Like that.
All right. That's all right.
Yeah. What do you mean that's all right?
I always come in to these expecting not to like them. We don't have the same taste in music. Like, oh!
Like that.
Yeah, damn you.
All night, get down like that.
It's a banger.
That's a good one, yeah.
Like that. And I know you can hang like that.
Fair play, Carla. That's a good one.
Like that.
Good for the gym.
Get ill like that.
Yeah.
Good for the
Know you would chill
drive.
like that.
I like it. Very good. Very
Yeah.
good. Very
And
good.
kind of
very
Halloween-y.
nice. What?
Kind of Halloween-y. I don't know why. You know those like
We're back to
beats that are a
disagreeing.
bit- No, do you know those beats that are a little bit like...
Bit manky.
Adam will know what I mean.
Do you know, so I don't usually like Sam Smith's music.
No, we know.
I don't like their voice. I don't like their performances. Sure, they're lovely. I can't with the music. But Unholy, I'm liking that. Might put that on my manky list.
It is a manky song. I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought I was going to hit harder.
Right, okay.
Because it's Sam Smith and Kim Petras, and they're both like, I like bits and bobs of both of them,
Yeah, okay.
but no.
No?
It's good. Like the chorus is good, but I think the verse is just. I think it's a bit lackluster.
Mate, I think I've actually only heard the.
It's like when Jack Harlow dropped First Class, and I was like, okay, this is not as good as I thought. I thought it was going to be a banger from the chorus.
Yeah.
And then the verses were kind of weak, and I was like,
That goes for 90% of the songs out here.
that is very true. No, but you know when you're like, this is an absolute, and then it was like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah. TikTok is kind of ruined stuff as well because they only use the best parts
They tease.
of
Yeah, it's like the trailers. It's the movie fucking trailers. It is. It's the movie
Podge's
trailers.
favourite. We had Podge on the
God.
Patreon.
Guys.
We take the piss out of him something serious. It's terrible.
He takes it though. I love it.
Oh, he goes along with it.
Yeah, he really
goes
does.
along with it.
Yeah.
We're gonna go and continue this on our Patreon, and for €6 a month, you can get an extra episode every week in the form of a mini-sode every Monday, and then like Podge's episode, friends of the pod will come on and we start talking about all the shit that happened during the month, and we might take the piss out of them as well. So hope you enjoyed. Links will be down below, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.